Right, so this week I've been really busy on this. Interior's moving along pretty quickly now, to be fair. So, yeah, hoping I'm still on target for sort of 3 or 4 weeks. That'll be done. That's the plan. I'll run through a few bits I've been doing. So, on the last video, I think I've basically done some filling on the roof. I've done a bit more of that on there, and the section at the front here a bit more. I haven't got any kind of flat end done on that at all, which I was hoping to do. But at least the filling's done, and it's basically pretty much there. Just needs flatting, and then one more quick skimmer filler, quick flat, job done. That'll be the same as the other side then. As you can see, it's flat over there. It's pretty good. But done a bit more on the centre column and the section under there. That's kind of done as well. That's flatted a bit more. This bit's looking a bit better now. It's the right sort of shape. That's all flatted. It's on its last pass of filler there. I just haven't flatted that back yet, but it's basically job done there. So that's quite good. This is going to be a 2-part video, by the way, because I'm going to have the seats in the next part, and they're in the car test fitted, so you'll see those. But till then, basically this has now all been shaped. This is all flatted back. All this up here is flatted back. It's all nice and curved. It goes down there. That's all done as well. That's done basically to getting towards 240 level now. It's heading that way. And then I've done a metal surround. So this piece is steel. Originally I made that wooden piece that was horrific. I made it out of fiberglass and wood and didn't really work at all. So basically now I've got a different sort of frame. I've got to tidy these edges up here because there's going to be there's like a bit of a curve to this. It's got to finish off that curve, and then I can make that section, put a piece of fiberglass in there, and basically make it so it's all good again. That's the idea. This corner is looking really good. All the sides here are looking good. I've painted it white for now, just primed it, but it's basically 3mm steel. It's solid. It's not going to break or anything now. It will be black eventually, so this section is going to be primed soon. All this area will be all primed up. This will be black, so it'll give you a much better idea of how it's going to look at some point in the future. Obviously it will be sticker bombed as well, but this trim won't be. Basically what I've been doing as well, I've done some fiberglassing inside here to get the shape back, this area, and it's had its first skimmer filler over it as well, just to get it a rough idea of shape. And then I can take the trim out, make sure the sort of pieces and everything else match up and don't overlap and various other things, and should look quite nice. Done some filler work on the floor, as you can see on here. I'll say the seats will be in a bit, so you'll see where that goes. But that's basically just getting this floor flat, because it's not flat before. This has been done as well. So this piece here, I think on the last video was just being sort of moulded in and things. Now the curve, it's difficult to see on the video really, but the curve kind of goes with the car now. It still comes off. It's currently sitting there. I don't think, yeah, it won't come off right a second because it's screwed in. But it's basically had a nice tidy up around this angle, around this corner here. Still a bit more to do on that, but it's basically getting there now. Got to do a bit around the back, around that section to make it solid, but it's going to be a bit of fiberglass in there, nothing too exciting, just to bring it up to the level of the other side over there, so it sort of comes along here. But yeah, that blends nicely into there now, and I'm also doing the floor to suit. There's none of that gap up there. That'll be nice and flat and sorted, which would be good. Yeah, so that's basically part 1. That's what I've been doing. Part 2, also will be with the seats in, so I'll do that in a sec. Right then, part 2. So I'm test fitting the seats. I've done quite a lot of work on this seat, particularly this week and last week. So basically, all this section now is getting flatted. It's looking really good now. There's a bit more flatting around here. You can obviously see the low spots here. A little bit more patches of filler, but the majority of it is basically done. Just needs a few bits and bobs. The sides need obviously looking at here, and this little section here, and this piece there. I'm going to slightly trim this front piece just to get it a bit straighter along there. You'll see why in a minute from the other side. Bit of good news and a bit of bad news really, because this one's basically pretty much there now. It fits in, I can sit in it, I can basically drive. Now it's got enough clearance from the roof, so there's no issues there. And obviously it's providing loading for the sub. I can still get the port flare in there, I've tested that, that's perfectly fine. And it clears this side as well. It's nicely sitting pretty much perfect, to be fair, in there. So happy with that one. First test fit on the other side hasn't really gone so well, and I know why, but I've got a plan. So you can see it doesn't really fit at the minute. It's only touching the roof there, but basically because it's not quite fitting on the floor here. You can see the gap. The reason behind that, and I hadn't realised for some reason, I don't know how I haven't realised, the angle on this speaker pod is different to the other side. So it's more of an angle, it's going further into the car, whereas the other one sort of goes sort of down, sort of down like that instead of down like that, which really I should probably cut this out and move it to a more normal kind of position, same as the other side. Don't really want to do that, that's too much of a big job, to be fair. I think I'll leave it as it is, which, to be honest, when it's demoing and stuff, it's going to be better for that anyway, this side. Obviously the main issue there is that the seat doesn't fit. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to trim this a little bit, basically to be the same as the other side. So it'll be slightly trimmed, so it'll still have an overhang, but it'll be trimmed the same as the other side, so basically both the same, and it means it'll clear this pillar here, this sort of centre console section. What I'm going to have to do is, it's going to have to come forward slightly, which obviously will include, as I say, trimming this. That'll bring it forward a good centimetre or so, roughly. That'll make it, can't really get in here, it's a bit tight. If we can get in, yeah, see, it needs some more clearance there, basically from the sub, and obviously for the port flare to fit in. There's plenty of room to manoeuvre here, so basically what I'll do is I'll shape this a bit different, easy to do. So I'll shape that round there so it goes a bit like that instead. Still blend it all into that with fiberglass, not a problem, that's a nice easy fix. I'm going to have to narrow the seat a little bit, so basically I'll leave everything in place, it's not too much of a problem, but I'm going to sort this out before I got too far into it. Basically I'm going to have to thin these sides down, the other side's going to have to be thinned down as well, probably a fair bit. This side's going to be thinned down a little bit, so it looks basically the same as the other side, but it basically looks thinner, basically. Pretty much it sort of goes down at an angle rather than being straight. That one I can basically thin down quite a lot, so basically that will be sort of almost part of the dash, pretty much. It'll still be there, but and you'll still see it and everything else, and it'll be a bit more like a part of the console. So a bit hard to explain, but I'll show you what I mean with that once I've done it, and I'll start that in the next couple of days. So yeah, this seat will fit, not a problem. Doesn't at the moment, as you can say, but yeah, come along quite nicely. I've got a little bit of a trick to do to take out probably about 1 centimetre's worth here as well, because it doesn't need all that strength at the bottom there. So I'll make it, I'll cut it slightly sort of further down, so it's going to go across the bottom rather than going fully down like that. There'll be like an angle there, so that'll help. That'll give me at least another centimetre there, so that's good. I probably need about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches clearance. Shouldn't be a problem, should be fine. So yeah, there you go, a bit weird, but that will fit soon, and I'll do another video as and when I've done that, because obviously I'll crack on with that next week, and hopefully get this seat fitted as part of that next video as well. But yeah, feel free to subscribe, comment, like the video if you can, and share it and everything else. Yeah, I'll crack on and try and sort this thing out and get it finished.